Okay, now we're going to extrude our parcel surfaces, and then after that we're going to have to adjust the height of all of our solid building masses. So let's do the same exact thing again. We need to go under solids. We need to select parcel solid because that's where we want to end up, right? We want our thickness to be on the solid layer. And so now that I have that selected and I only have my parcel surfaces turned on, 41 surfaces, let's do the same command again. So let's extrude surface. Let's select our parcel surfaces, select all objects, and then let's hit enter. Now let's make sure we're moving it in the upward direction, and let's do it by 1 foot. Now from this far away you're not going to see that kind of detail because we're so zoomed out, but if you were to select one of these surfaces and zoom in on it, you'll see that now we have our curb height, right? And so let's hide our parcel surfaces because we don't need those anymore. Now we just have our solids. And so now we have our solids here. Okay, so something that everybody's going to notice is, right, we took this same exact, we've been working at a certain plane, right? And we've been extruding everything up. Now we're going to get an issue here, right? When we turn on our building masses, you see how it looks like there's no line at the bottom? And that's because technically both of them are on the same plane down here, right? And so this is technically incorrect. And so what we're going to want to do is move all of our building mass solids up 1 foot, right? So then instead of them being on the top of the bottom of the plane, they're going to be on top of the plane. Sounds a little bit confusing, but it'll make sense in a second. So the fastest way to do this, and let me get to zoom extents so we can see everything, is and we'll click the first one, highlighted blue right here in the 15-foot solid, hold down shift, and click 55 solid. And now you see it selects all those layers at the same time. So now we have all those layers selected, right? So now we can select all the objects on all these layers at the exact same time. So the way we do that is we right click and we go to select objects again. And so now you see everything that we have highlighted blue has been selected, right? And so we need to move all this information up 1 foot. Some people have their gumball on. If you want to use gumball and it's on, all you have to do is click the blue arrow and type 1, and it moves everything up for you. And let me verify that. Yep, now it's on top instead of on bottom, right? Another way to do that, let's say if you don't use gumball, maybe you're not a fan of it. Some people aren't because it's a newer function. It wasn't in Rhino 4, so a lot of people don't use it. But it's good to know. It's good information to have, or a good, a good piece of the program. So anyways, another way to move everything up is in the same fashion. You have everything highlighted here. We're going to select all objects and we're going to type the command move, M-O-V-E. I'm going to hit enter. Up on the top here it says point to move from. So before we select our point, first things first is we want to move vertically, right? And only in the vertical direction. And right now we have vertical no. So that's kind of an issue, right? So let's click yes to that. And now when we click a point and go to move, it's only going to want to move up or down, similar to how the extrusion works. And so we'll move everything up, and we're going to move it 1 foot. So it's almost the same thing as gumball. It takes a little bit, it's a few more steps. Gumball is a little bit easier. As you can see, all you had to do was click the blue arrow and type 1. Whereas here you had to type move, say vertical, and then move everything up. So there's like one extra step. So whichever one you're more comfortable with, feel free to use it. I'm just giving everybody the multiple options. So now let's, I'm going to zoom in on just this area here. Zoom select, so Z and then S. And I'm going to get in there real close. I'm going to see, it looks like we almost have a street going here, right? So maybe let's turn on the street surfaces. And now it's starting to look a little bit like the city in a very schematic way, right? We have our building masses, we have our curbs, and we have our street. We are going to add thickness to the street, but let's save that for the end. Let's figure out how deep our model is going to end up. And that's going to be reflected by the river. So now that we've accomplished this, we've learned how to move objects in the vertical direction, and we've also extruded all of our parcel planes.